we check in with an industry expert, the CEO of the International Bridge, Tunnel, and Turnpike Association in Washington, D.C., which represents toll facility operators. Patrick Jones joins us by phone from Washington, and thanks a lot for being here.
My pleasure.
Well, it's my understanding that when the interstate highways were built in Wisconsin in the 1950s, the state agreed to not charge tolls on its interstates in return for full federal funding of construction of these highways. And so it has been. Is that still ironclad, or have the rules changed to the extent that states like ours could entertain the idea of tolls?
It's true that in most circumstances, tolls are prohibited on interstate highway systems, or the interstate highway system, with the exception of those facilities that were built before, toll facilities built before, and grandfathered into the interstate highway system, such as the Pennsylvania Turnpike and the New Jersey Turnpike and a handful of others. But there is a pilot program that would allow up to 3 states to put tolls on a segment of their interstate highway system for the purpose of reconstruction or rehabilitation of that facility.
Well, now, Wisconsin drivers always think of Illinois when they think of tolls, and I have to say, probably not in complimentary ways. How hard is it to change the public's perception of tolls?
Well, Frederica, there are 35 states that have toll roads in this country, amounting to about 6,000 miles, and they generate upwards of $14 billion a year in revenues to support those highways. So it is a fairly common practice to have toll facilities. Wisconsin happens to be one of those 15 states that doesn't have them.
Would toll roads solve Wisconsin's highway funding problems?
Well, it all depends. The people of Wisconsin have to decide what they want to do to solve their billion-dollar highway funding problem. Tolling is one of the most powerful and effective tools for project finance. If you're trying to build something new and you don't have the revenues to do it, toll finance can be one of the solutions. It's not the solution everywhere, but it is an effective one.
What do you know about what kind of toll configurations could be considered? You know, could it be just certain routes, like from the Illinois border to the Wisconsin Dells? Or would the entire interstate have to go tolls? Or would it just be new projects, as you're saying?
Well, again, those are all considerations that people in Wisconsin could consider. As I said, tolling is good for project finance. For instance, we just finished our annual meeting in Denver, Colorado. And 25 years ago, a group of counties got together and went to the state and said, hey, you know, we need some relief here. We've got terrible traffic problems. And the state said, we can't help you. So those 3 counties banded together and created the E-470 Public Highway Authority. They came up with a plan, they issued debt, and they built the facility and started charging tolls to repay the debt. So that's one of the options that I think probably the people of Wisconsin have if they're really interested in that.
Getting back to kind of the nuts and bolts of tolling, does technology now, for example, with like the iPass system in Illinois, mean that actual toll booths don't have to be constructed?
That's exactly right. If you're thinking about introducing tolling, you should avoid introducing toll booths. With electronic toll collection today, there's no need for stopping and waiting. You put a gantry or a little archway over the highway. There are electronic devices there that read the transponder on the windshield of your vehicle, and people pay the toll that way. There's no need for stopping and waiting.
What do you know about whether or not, and maybe it's a state issue, a state decision, as you've expressed, can there be different toll rates for in-state drivers?
Well, typically, if some states or some toll facilities will have different rates for customers who have a toll tag versus those who are having their license plate read, for instance, or sometimes they offer discounts for multiple use. So if somebody is going to be using a facility 20 to 30 times per month, they might get a small discount over people who use it only once a month or perhaps once a year. So certainly those types of discounts are available to be implemented.
All right. Well, I think that we'll probably be having more discussions on this, and we appreciate your expertise on it.
Well, thank you for asking me to be on the show.
Okay.